Welcome to this parts presentation. I'm Randy Clemens. I'm your host. In this video, I will be demonstrating the most popular features found in parts for maintaining PCB libraries. Before starting this demonstration, I'd like to explain what parts is and what parts can do for you. What is parts? Parts is a graphical user interface for Microsoft Access and MySQL database libraries. It's been optimized for Altium database libraries. However, Parts supports all CAD tools via import, export to Excel. Parts supports multiple local and remote users. It supports drag and drop of parametric data for part numbers, part descriptions, etc., minimizing any typing that's required or manual data entry. You can quickly find footprints and symbols for new designs using Parts. Parts includes intelligent filtering and sorting. You can quickly create similar parts using make-like, or you can clone parts using simple copy and paste operations. Parts supports version-controlled libraries via Git. Some of the key features in Parts is that when you download Parts, you'll get a free turnkey database library for Altium. You'll get free Altium scripts and BOM templates. There's an optional Parts front end, this application shown here. However, that application is not required to use a database library with Altium. However, it will make you considerably more productive. Best known practices are built into the Parts application. You'll generate clean and consistent bill of materials. You'll have minimum manual data entry work. Less library work equals more PCB design time, leaving Parts users with competitive advantages. Parts is very scalable. You can start with Access and migrate to MySQL. Parts supports real-time multiple users locally or remote. Parts is integrated with version control, Git and SVN using Tortoise. You can also easily migrate to Altium 365 managed components from a Parts database. There's context-sensitive help online and timely technical support available. You can download Parts at pcbpartsblogspot.com. Just select the download tabs. Please read the instructions here, and then select your download and install it. A few customer comments. Currently, Parts is being used in several countries around the world, has quite a large following, and some of these are some of the comments that were kindly left by those users. Just a little bit about me. You can find my resume on LinkedIn if you'd like to have more details. By all means, click on the link over at Parts for Contact Parts if you'd like a free demonstration or you have any follow-up questions. Also, please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you'd like to see more Parts videos. Thank you. Let's get into the demonstration. Next, I'd like to go over the buttons and main menu quickly in the Parts front end. The main menu is across the top here. And then we have a few other buttons inside the application. If you hover over any one of these buttons for more than a couple of seconds, you should get a control tip to tell you what the button will do for you. So for example, here we can create a new part. We can make a similar part. That means that we can reuse the same symbol or the same footprint again, or both the symbol and footprint to make another part. That's very useful for making another 0402 resistor or another capacitor that uses the same symbol and the same footprint. The view button is a toggle button that toggles between edit and view. When you see the red box over here, you're in the view only mode, and that prevents you from accidentally typing data into the Parts front end. And when you see the view button here and you see the green light, that means you're in the edit mode, and if you'd like to go to the view mode, you'd select view. We can save a record at any time and validate changes. I'm going to jump ahead to the configuration for just a moment to show you that when you select the Save button, there are additional options that you can use. You can determine if check options to alert the user if there's a duplicate manufacturer part number being created, if the part's RoHS compliant, Also, you have an option to build a manufacturer description for the capacitors, resistors, inductors if the part description is blank. And there's an option to copy the manufacturer part number over to the value field if it is blank. And you can choose also to, when you hit save, to change the parts front end into a locked view-only mode to prevent accidental typing. There's an option to replace Greek characters if you like, and there's an option to verify the library files and check the library symbols for linked footprints. All right, so there's an option here, a button to delete a current record that's displayed. You can filter records. For example, here, the default filter is to filter for some resistors 0402s. If we select apply, we can see we've got a list of our 0402 resistors nicely sorted in order. The sorting order is based on top down, so we sorted by part type first, resistor, then package type, and then by value. For example, if I go wildcard on the package type, package case, and hit apply, then we'll see that the resistors are sorted first by part type, then by package case, being the 0402s, and then the next larger package, the 1608, and then another package, 805 package, 2012 metric. Same thing for capacitors. We can sort, and they would be nicely sorted in order. You have a part type, which is this field here, and you can also have a subtype. Notice I didn't fill in this subtype here. These part types and subtypes can be created on the fly. For example, if we wanted to create this part type to be film, we just simply type in film, and we can save that. And then the next time we're creating a new part, if we're creating a capacitor, we'll find that film's been added to the part type list here, to the subtypes. I'll go ahead and delete that record there since we don't need it. Okay, so anyway, this is an intelligent, smart sorting algorithm. Sorts top down, and it supports type ahead. For example, if we had capacitors, we could choose, our 0402 caps or whatever other package cases are there. Or let's look at that with resistors. We could have selected our 0402 or 0603 or 0805s. And then after you select that, the database is already filtered to whatever resistors are available in the 0603 size. Again, this is just a very small database for the purposes of this example, doing this demonstration. But after we select apply here, then the next time we drop down the resistors for the 0402, you would also see them sorted in the list. And they were already sorted over here. Okay, so we can also select the Explore button. We can use that to just look around where the parts database has been installed. For example, here we have a folder with our symbols in it. We have our folder with our footprints in it. We have a data sheets folder, and we have a CAD models folder, and then we just have some backup data. The Models button can be used to very quickly find footprints and symbols online. For example, this resistor right here, we can select, go to Snap EDA, for example, and see if there's a footprint and symbol there. And there is. We can see footprints and symbols are available. And all these popular library sources can be searched in one click by selecting this Open All Library Sources. And now we're taking a look in Octoparts, and there's CAD models there. Notice we are also filtering Octopart to have CAD models and footprints. If they weren't available, they wouldn't have shown up. So we added a string in the search string, a filter string. And we can see again we had the parts over at SnapCAD. And over at Semaxis, we also have footprints and symbols. Ultra Librarian has footprints and symbols. And we've already looked at SnapCAD. Okay, and there's also a link here to 3D Central, which is not included in this click here when you open all of the library sources, because 3D Central is not a library source for symbols and footprints. It is, however, a source for step models, so we can select that if you like, and you might type in something like capacitor and select that, search for it, and you should be able to find some capacitor 3D models that you can download if you like. Okay, anyway, that's how quick and easy it is to find footprints and symbols using the parts front end. You just scroll down and select the part that you're interested in and select open all sources and check your sources to see what you have. Then if you find one that you like, for example here at Snap EDA, we can select that. We can download our footprint and symbol, select your tool. In my case, I would select Altium. However, the parts front end can support any of these tools. You would just select your library and download that. Just to kind of complete that example a little bit, what I would probably do if I weren't using an Altium library, for example, if I were over at Snap EDA and I was downloading this library, I might choose that, for example, for OrCAD. Go ahead and sign in here. I'll choose to download OrCAD. Okay, so I'm using Chrome for my browser. Chrome puts it right on the corner of the tab. Your browser may put it in a downloads folder. But anyway, now that I have that in my browser, I could open my CAD models folder and I could just simply drag and drop that into there and select open, and that would save that zip file there. So after I collect all the necessary symbols and footprints, I can go back and extract these files, and then I could follow the instructions for completing the importing of the footprint into my tool. Anyway, using the parts front end makes it pretty simple to gather up all the footprints and symbols you need for a new project, and that's because you could have started out by selecting tools and imported your BOM using import Excel. Then you would have your part numbers and you could search from there for availability at using Octopart. You could have searched for availability of inventory, and you could search for footprints and symbols using the models button. Okay, so let's look now at how quickly and easy it would be to create a new part using the parts front end. For example, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to create a 2K ohm resistor, another 0402 part. So notice here that I have a 1K ohm resistor, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and copy that part number for now, and then I'm going to do a make like, and I'll reuse the same footprint and symbol, and then I'll jump out to Octopart. And since we get pretty good at reading these part numbers after a while, we can pretty much guess that if we change that to 2, that's going to be a 2K ohm part. Sure enough, it is. So we can check and look for inventory, stock, and availability. Didn't really find stock that I was looking for at DigiKey or Mouser, which is my preferred suppliers. So we'll take another look at doing that. We'll close down some of these extra tabs. What we could do is go here and just search for a resistor 2K. Actually, this is going to be easier if we just start out with a 1K part here. If we copy that and we'll go ahead and do a make like again. We'll reuse the same footprint and symbol. We'll drop our part description in here, but now we'll search for a 2K part, and we'll select that over at Octo part because we're looking for something with inventory in it, and you can see there's quite a few here, some market availability. But also I want to show another feature that's in the parts in the configuration that we can check, and that is to search Octo part with a filter. And so we could search for distributors, like this is a distributor code for Mauser and a distributor code for DigiKey, and a stock available. So I'll hit apply and go back to my record that I was working on. And now when we go over to Octo part, we'll see that we filtered by DigiKey and Mauser. And you can see that filter code's right up here in the string up above. And it's also stock available. So now we know we're finding parts that are with stock available, and they're available at our favorite distributors, DigiKey or Mauser. So in this case, I'll just go ahead and select this Yagio part. Looks like there's a lot of inventory there. I'm going to scroll down here to DigiKey. And now that I'm at DigiKey, I just have one more step, and that's to grab the URL link right here and drag and drop it into the black hat. That'll populate the parametric data. We can save that record, and that will do any validation checks. So we can see we have our footprint and symbol. So looking in our tool here, for example, I'm using Altium. And there's that 2K ohm resistor that we just created. It's ready to be placed into the design. Okay, so it really is that quick and easy. It only takes a few seconds to create another footprint or another component using make like. Get back to the parts front end there again. Alright, so that's an example of using make like, and that's why the parts front end can be extremely powerful. Let's say that if you did want to clone one of these parts, you could just simply come down to the bottom row, right click, copy it, right click, and paste into a blank row. And now you would have, after you hit save, you'll find out that you've created a duplicate part number, which you really don't need a duplicate. We've gotten our warning, so I'll go ahead and delete that duplicate. Anyway, that's how the parts front end can very efficiently help you find footprints and symbols and to create similar parts. Before I leave, let's look at a couple more features in the parts front end. We've already filtered down here by the duplicate record in our last example, so we can select show all. That would just unfilter the records to show all the records. Also notice that we can scroll in the bottom window, and that'll update the record in view in the top. And so we can roll our mouse wheel in the bottom window and click any record that we're interested in. Or when you're in the top window, you would use your page up and page down keys to page through the records, which are also being updated in real time in the bottom. I want to take one more look at this Octopart search what I call the smart search feature. So I've got an enable option here for Octopart smart searches. I'm not even sure why I create that as an option. I can't imagine anyone not wanting to use it. But let's take a look at how that's used. So let's say we're here at this 2K ohm resistor again, and what we could have done was highlighted some portion of that text if we want, and then we could select search, and that's what you'll see in the search box right there. So just to make sure everyone's clear on that, I'll do that one more time. Notice this time I'll just do 2K ohms and 1/16 watt like that. And now we'll find ourselves searching for that over at Octopart. Another example where that might be handy is maybe you're looking for a series of inductors like this LPQ15MN series. You could highlight just part of the part number and then select this link here. You'd find yourself searching for those LQP 15mm parts over at Octopart. Okay. Anyway, it's a little bit about that smart filter. And so that the smart filter applies to any field that has the word part number in it, or any field that has the word description in it. So we could, for example, have filtered off of this field right here. Or we could have filtered off of another part number. Let me find one of these. Want to sort smallest to largest. So also, you know, we have all the sort features that come along with a Microsoft application built into the tool. So that's what I was looking for. So here we have a second part number. If we were to click on that, and then same thing, we would be searching Octopart now for that part number. Or if we wanted to look for a series of those, we'd be looking for that series of resistors from Yageo. Okay, anyway, that's about how the Smart Search works. And also there's a nice feature here for freezing and unfreezing the columns. You may notice right now the lower panel is jumping back and forth to the left and right. If you don't want to see that panel jumping around every time you're selecting a field, you can just select freeze, and it'll freeze the first 9 columns. So you can see now that we're not moving around, but then we don't get to see what's in the field out there either. So you can always temporarily unfreeze that. Take a look over here in the part number 3, for example, or the size dimension field. You can see it's always the one that's kind of shadowed out. And this is our current record. But when you're would prefer not to see the lower pane hopping left and right, you can just freeze it. Anyway, that's all we're going to do for this video today. Thanks for taking time to watch the video. By all means, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more parts videos. Go over to PCBpartsblogspot.com if you'd like to download a copy of the parts. I'll leave a link down below for the download. Thanks again for watching the video. Have a great day.